We're about 24 hours away from alert day conditions to unfold across southern Wisconsin as some of the coldest air we have seen since last winter invade southern Wisconsin. And just how long will the cold last? I'll let you know.
Plus, a familiar face announces his run for governor, why Mandela Barnes says that he's jumping in to the crowded race. And how you can share your vision for downtown Madison's evolution as the city plans for growth in a new way. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening, and thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Sarah Carlson. Eric Franke is off tonight. In the weather, we've gone from shoveling to shivering out there big time, and some warnings ahead. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington has the details, and it looks like we have an alert day coming.
Another alert day on the way to southern Wisconsin. We did say last week, too, if we were to get that accumulating snow, expect bitterly cold temperatures, and, well, it's right around the corner here as we go into Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Wind chills near -20. That's the dangerous threshold. That's when it means business. That's when it means you really need to take that quite seriously. So Thursday morning, we're looking at 20 below zero wind chills stretching right down the I-39 corridor from Camp Douglas to Wisconsin Dells to Madison. But all of southern Wisconsin will have that chance of getting down to -20. Preceding the cold air, we have a little bit of snow out ahead of this cold front that's going to come down from the north and from the west. So areas along I-90, Partyville, the Poinette area, the Dells, a little bit of light snow out ahead of that cold front. Zooming on out here, snow showers and flurries continue to extend out over parts of the plains of southeast Minnesota, and they're heading off towards the east. When I come back, I'll let you know when that snow may make it into your neighborhood, and if we will get any accumulation. I'll also let you know about that too.
All right, thank you, Alex. A man is in the Dane County Jail tonight facing homicide charges in the deadly shooting of a 25-year-old on Madison's north side. Charges of first-degree reckless homicide and felon in possession of a firearm have now been referred for Jonathan Britton. He was arrested the night of the shooting on November 17th on a probation hold and remains in the Dane County Jail. The shooting on Brentwood Parkway left 25-year-old J. Mar Willis dead. Typically, News 3 Now's policy is not to name people accused of crimes until they are formally charged in court, but we're naming Britton due to the nature and severity of this alleged crime. Police say 3 teenagers pistol whipped and robbed a woman last night. At about 12:40 a.m., Madison police officers responded to Diving Hawk Trail near Seven Nations Drive on the city's south side. Police say a woman was inside a car when the incident happened and that the teenagers managed to get her phone and some money, but she was able to get her belongings back because Fitchburg and Madison officers found and stopped those teenagers. They were caught driving on Verona Road at Williamsburg and South Whitney Way. 2 of them are 17-year-olds, the other 18. They are now in the Dane County Jail. An update now on a story we first brought you last night. The Monona Police Department got the approval to buy new technology to help with police chases. Yesterday, the Monona City Council unanimously approved the department's request to purchase this. It's a grappler used to tangle a suspect's vehicle's rear tire during a chase in order to stop it. The bill for the grappler is about $5,000 to $6,000, and funding will come from either the department's asset forfeiture fund or its equipment budget. Officers will get special training before using that device. The city of Madison is preparing for its next chapter now. With this city expecting another 100,000 people in the upcoming decades, the planning division is busy, and they say now is the time to reimagine downtown for the first time since 2012. Our Maren Rosen joined city leaders and business owners downtown tonight to break down what's coming.
It's really critical that we plan now for the things that are going to happen downtown in the next 10 years.
For the first time, the city is partnering with the private sector to put together a plan for the future of downtown.
This is going to be kind of a shared process for us. It's kind of new territory for us.
On the city side, the plan looks to update land use, transportation systems, elevate the city's design, and preserve the uniqueness of downtown.
I hope that we, recognizing that there are thousands more people living downtown, can do more to build a complete neighborhood that meets people's needs so that they are able to get the amenities and services and goods that they need downtown.
Downtown Madison Incorporated is looking at the economic sector, working to support existing industries and businesses while also bringing in new ones.
This is about hope, right? What does the future of downtown look like? The future of downtown is going to look a lot brighter with both the public and the private sectors, the residents, the nonprofits, the businesses all working together to create the strategic plan and the vision that we all want to see.
At the first plan meeting, community members raised concerns about the housing crisis, with 43% of downtown residents spending more than half of their income on rent, and thousands more looking to call Madison home.
What's, I think, really important about this is that we have national consultants that have seen other work in other cities, and if we can take some of those ideas and run with it, I think we can create our own Madison.
While some questions remain unanswered, over the next 18 months, the city and Downtown Madison, Inc. will hold meetings and listen to feedback and suggestions from the community.
Envision Downtown Madison is really an opportunity for us to build on the last downtown plan, to envision the future, and to strengthen our relationships downtown and to collaborate even better than we already do.
Reporting in Madison, I'm Maren Rosen, News 3 Now.
The first phase of the plan will begin this spring, and the final review and final approval expected in early 2027. Well, after months of speculation, Mandela Barnes will run for governor. He announced his campaign this morning. The former lieutenant governor in the Evers administration left that post to run against U.S. Senator Ron Johnson back in 2022, losing by just 1%. Before that, he represented Wisconsin's 11th Assembly District from 2013 to 2017. In this video announcement of his campaign, Barnes says he made this decision in part because of national politics.
It seems like the harder you work, the more Washington looks the other way. Lower taxes for billionaires, higher prices for working people. Under Trump, the name of the game has been distraction and chaos to avoid accountability. It's not about the real world, it's a show.
Barnes also announced that he'll travel around the state as part of his Wisconsin Way tour to talk about the impact of high costs on Wisconsinites. Now, Barnes is joining an already very crowded primary. More than half a dozen Democrats are running right now. The big names include Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez, Assembly Representative Francesca Hong, and Senator Kelda Roys. And a smaller group for the Republican side so far, Congressman Tom Tiffany, as well as Washington County Executive Josh Showman. Well, building affordable housing in Wisconsin just got a little easier. The State Public Service Commission updated one of its rules that critics were arguing was red tape on clean energy projects. Rule 113 in Wisconsin requires that every unit in an apartment building must have an individual electric meter. That means every tenant has their own individual electric bill. Up until this week, there were very few exceptions to that rule, but now affordable housing projects won't need to install a meter in every unit. Clean Wisconsin, an environmental advocacy agency, claimed the rule as it stood was a barrier to newer technology like solar projects and was driving up costs.
This matters because there is a housing affordability crisis. There's an energy affordability crisis. There are these new cutting-edge technologies, highly efficient air source heat pumps, induction stoves, rooftop solar. All of these technologies are getting cheaper and cheaper and can help reduce your energy bills over time.
The Public Service Commission has been working on updating this rule since 2023, and this summer the state Supreme Court ruled in favor of the governor, so now that a joint committee in the legislature cannot unilaterally block any administrative rules. Well, Thanksgiving may have passed, but food insecurity is only growing in the area, according to those on the front lines of this issue. Arman Rahman takes us to the River Food Pantry on this Giving Tuesday.
I started out working at a food pantry at some of the downtown churches.
Michelle Ogilvie knows her way around food pantries.
Largely, I'm filling orders and then loading cars.
But in all her years volunteering for the river and others, she hasn't seen numbers increase like they have recently.
And it's just gotten much more expensive, unaffordable. People have to make tough decisions between going to school, paying rent, going to a doctor.
The food holiday Thanksgiving may have come and gone, but at the river,
we continue to see numbers increasing every day. And so today there's two lines out there all the way to the street. and that'll continue, we imagine, for the rest of this week and for the rest of this year.
While collecting donations like for frozen protein on Giving Tuesday,
We have a $25,000 match today.
they have to deal with limited space in their current building. But this new facility is on the way, set to open next month, which will allow for a drive-through setup, among other new efforts.
Be able to give us a little bit of breathing room so we're not running into each other all the time.
Because their job and the need isn't slowing anytime soon.
Food insecurity isn't here just for a couple of days here and there. Food insecurity is here, and it's continued.
Reporting in Madison, Armand Rama, News 3 Now.
Armand, thank you. And to give, you can head to riverfoodpantry.org. Still ahead tonight at 10, the Trump administration is distancing itself from one immigration-related operation and doubling down on another. More on accusations of racial profiling against a Minnesota lawmaker. And Alex has all the details on just how low the temperatures are expected to be later in the week. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10. Moving forward.
In a cabinet meeting today, President Trump and his defense secretary tried to distance themselves from a follow-up strike on a suspected drug boat in the Caribbean. Instead, they are blaming the admiral, overseeing the operation. Wajia Zhang is at the White House with the latest.
One day after the White House confirmed there was a second strike on a suspected Venezuelan drug boat, President Trump today said he did not know about it.
I still haven't gotten a lot of information because I rely on Pete, but to me it was an attack.
The legality of the September 2nd attack is in question after the Washington Post reported Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth allegedly issued an order to kill everybody, and that Navy Admiral Mitch Bradley apparently ordered the second strike to take out 2 survivors, fulfilling Hegseth's directive, which many legal experts describe as a war crime. Hegseth said he only saw the first strike.
A couple of hours later, I learned that commander had made which he had the complete authority to do, and by the way, Admiral Bradley made the correct decision to ultimately sink the boat and eliminate the threat.
Trump also pointed to Admiral Bradley.
I hear the gentleman that was in charge of that is extraordinary. He's an extraordinary person.
But the DoD's Law of War Manual states that shipwrecked combatants are in a helpless state, and it would be dishonorable and inhumane to make them the object of an attack.
I did not personally see survivors, but I stand because the thing was on fire. It was exploded and fire or smoke. You can't see anything. You got digital. This is called the fog of war.
At the cabinet meeting, the president also talked about his new efforts to pause migration and singled out Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who came to the U.S. as a Somali refugee.
Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. They complain and do nothing but... We don't want them in our country.
Congresswoman Omar responded on social media, posting, quote, "His obsession with me is creepy." A U.S. official tells CBS News that ICE is planning this week to surge resources to Minneapolis, Omar's district, and to St. Paul to target those with deportation orders, some of whom are also from Somalia. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, the White House.
Census data shows roughly 260,000 people of Somalian descent were living in the U.S. last year, the largest population being in the Minneapolis area. The mayor of Minneapolis vowed that the city's police officers, many of whom are Somali, will not work with any federal agents doing immigration enforcement, saying, quote, "It is not their job." The Federal Aviation Administration is warning major airlines about possible violations during the government shutdown. The Trump administration began limiting flights at 40 major airports on November 7th. Officials said the cuts were needed to ease pressure on air traffic controllers who had been working without pay. In new letters sent to the airlines, the FAA said some carriers may have exceeded those limits. Violations could bring a fine of up to $75,000 per flight. The agency did not say which carriers received the letters. Well, the Merrimack Ferry is officially closed for the season. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation says they stopped service Saturday due to winter weather, and conditions haven't improved enough since then to resume. According to the DOT, the free ferry made more than 39,000 crossings this season, carrying a total of 208,000 cars, bikes, and pedestrians. Well, the shoveling may be over for now, but get all the warm clothes ready, Alex. We have some temperatures that could get dangerous soon, right?
Dangerously cold air on the way for southern Wisconsin as we get to Wednesday night, going on into Thursday morning. And we were first to mention this last week when we said if we were going to get a deep, heavy snowpack, get ready for the bitterly cold weather. And here it is as we go into Thursday, going right down the I-39 corridor, minus 21 in Camp Douglas, minus 18 in the Dells, minus 21 in Madison. That's what you're waking up to Thursday morning. Work, school, you're going to absolutely need to put on all those extra layers and limit that time activities outdoors as well on Thursday. It's not a day to be outside. Even though it will be sunny, it's deceptive. It's going to be bitterly cold. Here comes that cold front tomorrow morning. 28 in Madison. Low 20s to the northwest and near 30 to the southeast. It sweeps through, and watch as we get the purples going here. That's that deep, bitter cold moving into southern Wisconsin. -4 for low in Lone Rock, -4 in the Dells, -3 in Madison, -2 in Janesville. Those are the actual air temperatures. Always important to show the feels like factor and the actual air temperatures. And preceding this cold front, a little bit of light snow. Although the snow from the Dells, Loganville up towards Camp Douglas, New Chester, and Partyville, some of this may be struggling to make it to the ground because the air is dry. So as these snowflakes fall through that dry air, they get eaten up essentially by that dry air. So some of this not making it to the ground just yet, but eventually those snowflakes will make it to the ground for a little bit of light snow. Future Trek doing a nice job painting that here. It's not going to be a big snow, or just a little bit, just a little dry, fluffy snow overnight tonight with that cold front coming through again 6 to 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. But again, don't let your guard down if we get just a little bit of a dusting, maybe as much as a ½ inch of this dry snow. A couple of slick spots can't be ruled out. Bridges, overpasses. Don't forget the sidewalks too. You got icy stuff in the sidewalks. Maybe you're taking your dog, or you're going for a walk or a run for that matter, Sarah. Just be careful. Some of that dusting on that icy sidewalks, you just need to take it a little bit on the easy side. And how long will this cold last? Average high for this time of year, 37 degrees. Getting asked by a lot of folks, is this typical? Not a 10-day stretch here when your highs are normal near 40 and we are way in the 20s. There's that warm temperature, and then that's just barely getting closer to normal next Wednesday at 33. So an extended period of very cold conditions, a little bit of light snow. Saturday night, I think, is that next chance where we're going to get a little bit more of that fluffy, dry stuff coming in from the northwest, with a series of Alberta Clippers that will be on the way to southern Wisconsin. Got that Packers game on Sunday. You may be wondering, well, how should I dress for that? Well, here in Madison, we're going to be 22. Well, Lambeau Field is to the north. It's usually colder to the north, so we're going to do 20 at kickoff, 18 halftime, 17 at the game's end. So maybe a couple of green and or yellow jackets you might want to put a couple on to stay a little bit on the warmer side. It's going to be a cold one. And I had to end here. This just sent in from Don in Wanakee. You can't, this is just a perfect winter picture here. That tree, all the snow, the sun has a little halo around it as well, which usually is a sign that some more moisture is coming in. And that's that little bit of moisture coming in tonight with that little bit of light snow.
All right. Thank you so much, Alex. And at least we get to talk about some indoor sports for the sake of warming our minds, right?
No kidding. I'm thinking about how grateful I am to be in the press box on Sunday because I want to be outside for that. Still to come in sports, what Wisconsin men's basketball says they need to do to avoid an ugly season. Next on News 3 Now. From ranked in the top 25 to 2 losses before beginning Big Ten play, Wisconsin men's basketball's non-conference slate has not been smooth sailing. In each of their prove-it games, the Badgers fell way short of the bar, losing to BYU and TCU. For Nick Boyd, he says the recipe for success for tomorrow's Big Ten opener is getting physical and being real with themselves.
No sugarcoating, like, I mean, 3 teams we played, the bigger teams we played, you know, we shot away a little bit. You know, we got beat up a little bit down there. So it's pretty straightforward. Like, either, you know, we're going to have to man up or it's going to be a long year. So, you know, like I said, it starts with myself setting the tone in that first 4 minutes when I'm out there. Yeah, it's nothing to really say, you know, either man up or, you know, we're going to be in for a tough year.
Let's keep hooping on the high school level. Columbus at New Glarus, and the Glarner Knights got out on their horse out of the gate, turning defense into offense. Grady Johnson takes it right out of the Cardinals' nest, feeding Nolan Jolseth for 2. But from there, the C-Bus put their wheels on the ground with some role reversal. Jordan Mowbray, Columbus football's star wide receiver, well, he finds his quarterback down in the paint, who puts away the bucket. Peyton Powers for 2, and the Cardinals power past New Glarus, winning it 65-45. Sticking with hoops on the girls' side, 2 of the powerhouses in Division 5 who met in the state semis 2 years back, Albany Monticello and Argyle Pecatonica. The Comets, Heidi Olson bringing AM back early, but Aaliyah Harris and Argyle Peck would pull this one out. Money from the mid-range. It came down to the wire, but Argyle does get it done. 42-39, the final score. It's time to put on your best shoes, or at least some ones that you like to dance in, because it's just about time to dance. The NCAA tournament starts Thursday for Wisconsin volleyball. The Badgers have a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament, and 3 of their stars today were named to the first team All-Big Ten list. Let's start with Mimi Collier, who could have been the conference's player of the year for my money. Her 5.3 kills per set ranked 3rd in the country. And then there was Charlie Furbringer. The sophomore setter earned her first team All-Big Ten honors, despite missing a large part of the Big Ten slate. And of course, Carter Booth finding herself on the Big Ten's first team for the 4th time. The senior swung a .436 hitting percentage to go with 113 blocks on the season. Truly an incredible feat for all of those Badgers. And speaking of truly incredible, Alex will be right back with the final check of that first Warren forecast.
Finally tonight, the trash panda living up to its name and getting trash. Listen to this story this is out of Virginia. Officers were called to a liquor store. Oh yeah. Liquor bottles strewed about. This masked suspect had passed out on the bathroom floor. It is a drunk raccoon. He was checked out for injuries, slept off the fun night, and then released back into the wild, where hopefully he won't find any more booze. It's actually happened, people.
That's crazy.
What a fun way to end the night.
No
and
kidding.
Not so much fun on the weather end, though.
Yeah, not so much fun for the weather. I will encourage people to have some hot cocoa as we go on into Thursday. Bitterly cold wind chills to -20. This is all of southern Wisconsin. I shouldn't giggle here. This is serious stuff. And tomorrow night we'll have another projection. Blaze will be here on those wind chills.
All right, thank you, Alex. And thanks so much for watching, everybody. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is up next. Our next show tomorrow morning at 4:30. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good night.